Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Just Enough Heshy show. I have my wonderful co-host and good-looking friend. I keep telling you because you keep getting better looking by the week. My brother, my friend, my legal counsel. Am I already off the hook, by the way? Ezra Levy, Esquire.
I think you got a couple more weeks.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, I think we're good now. I think you have a couple more weeks and then you'll be fine.
A couple more weeks to behave, and then I'm off the hook with that idiot Goldblum. I would introduce Sawyer, but for some reason she was changing her shoes, and she's
running a little late.
Little late. She's very late. She's changing her shoes, and she's not here. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to move you over to her seat, Ezra, and take over. But we have a wonderful show tonight. We were supposed to have Ezra a guest on the show tonight by the name of Benin Hamdan. She is, her parents are from Lebanon. She is Arab, but of course a Brooklyn girl, born here and raised here. She's running for Congress. I hope my producer puts her picture up. She's running for Congress of the 10th district.
Of my district.
Of your district. With all the redistricting, I don't even know what.
Right now it is my district, but most of it's Manhattan, isn't it?
Most of it's Manhattan, but he has a piece of Brooklyn here. Where she's 28 years old. She's running for the Congress of Jerry Nadler's seat, who I hate so much.
Join the club.
I heard he's retiring, by the way.
I know we discussed it before the show. I didn't hear that rumor, but it would make a lot of sense. The handwriting's on the wall that he's about to lose his chairmanship.
What do you mean he's about to lose his chairmanship?
The Republicans are going to take over the Congress, and then Jim Jordan will be the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee.
Wow. I mean, you really believe that? I mean, we thought that last time, too.
No. Actually, last time the predictions were the Republicans were going to retain the House at a much higher rate than they did. It was the Senate that was questionable. But, right now, midterm elections, usually the opposition wins. And considering who's in the White House right now, I think the handwriting's on the wall. I don't know. I think this might be one of the bigger turnovers. I know we're going to discuss all the redistricting because that's really going to slow down the red wave in New York.
All I know is that Mayor Adams thinks that Biden's a blue-collar, cool guy, and he's like one of us.
Yeah, Mayor Adams also thinks he's the Joe Biden. He's the Joe Biden.
Biden in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So good.
So I have faith in Adams, but it looks like I'm not having any faith in him right now.
I have zero faith.
But we're going to do a couple commercials quickly, and this week, Ezra, I'm going to do those commercials.
Oh, good. So we're going to
move on quickly, and you'll see how it's done properly. Plaza Auto Leasing, everybody. They're not only a leasing company, but also a dealership. You get the best of both worlds, the flexibility to lease or buy any vehicle, make or model, combined with quick service, huge inventory, and easy approvals. There's no finance manager to meet with, just a friendly pal, which is Plaza Auto Leasing sales representative that can handle most of the transactions from start to finish without you even having to step a foot in their office. All you have to do is place your order, and they'll deliver your car right to your door. What are you waiting for? Become a pal and call Plaza Auto Leasing. You can reach Plaza Auto Leasing at 718-975-9000, 718-975-9000. You can check their website, www.plazaautoleasing.com. That's PLAZAAUTOLEASING.com. Located at 2750 Nostrand Avenue at the corner of
Sawyer's back.
Avenue N and Coney Island Avenue. Call them at 718-975-9000. And be a pal today. Now, Sawyer came late. Hello, Sawyer. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Now, you told me you were late because you were changing your shoes.
No, I wasn't.
You were. That's what you told. So you lied to me again.
I wasn't changing my shoes.
What were you doing with the shoes?
I was putting on my shoes. They were off. I was home.
So
Why, you walk around with your shoes in your house?
So you decided to come late because you have no shoes on.
I have shoes on.
Anyways, she comes into the show late. She shuts off the lights to the show. I don't know.
Who did you do today?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You look so pretty.
Yeah, okay.
And I want to introduce you to the show.
Am I getting a raise?
You're getting a raise. Sawyer, welcome to the show.
I'm getting a raise. I need to get paid first.
Right. Welcome to the show, Sawyer. You're wonderful. Thank you for coming. Even late, we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You know that me and Sawyer had a fight again before the show. Heshy, you don't want me to come? You want me to come? And for 15 minutes, I had to beg and say, yes, come, don't come, come, don't want to come, please come. Heshy, you don't want me to come? I said, I do want you to come. I swear to you, don't lie.
Did you not give me attitude about last week?
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave her attitude for not allowing me my freedom of speech on the First Amendment.
You don't have any First Amendment rights in here.
We don't?
We have
it's only the government that gives you
producer.
can stop you.
Okay? And Producer
Is
has
second
certain
rate?
rules and
Yeah, but
regulations
Wait, hold on.
that you're not abiding
Can I
by.
clear something up with you?
Did we not get knocked off YouTube?
Can I? We never knocked off.
We didn't
YouTube.
get knocked off
Never,
YouTube
never.
because you were giving
Never.
questionable content?
No, the producer lied to you, like
The
you did.
producer lied to
Yes, he
me. I
did.
don't know, like father, like son.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I never lied. But I just want you to know, Sawyer.
Did we do Green Line Building Solutions?
Can I ask you
No,
a
we only
question?
did Plaza Auto.
We
We only
only
did PAL.
we only did
Just
PAL.
Pal?
But I
Yes.
just want you to know, Sawyer.
Heshy, where do you get your cars from?
But Sawyer, but I got it. What do you mean? Where I got it from Plaza Auto Leasing. But I want you to know, Sawyer, that forget that you took away my free amendments. The name of the show.
I took away your freedom.
But the name of the show.
Go write a letter,
the
file a complaint.
I will. I finally got the name of the show is Just Enough.
Heshy,
Soy.
just enough. Yeah, I don't even have to. You, case in point, you just proved to me, just enough.
Right. Everybody loves me so much that we dig
You
it.
know the name implies something else. Just enough.
No, it applies.
You just about had
it
enough.
applies Heshy. No, not. Wow, Sawyer.
Let's continue.
Go ahead, Sawyer.
Green Line Building Solutions, Preservation, Development and Fire Department, Criminal Court, Department of Finance, Environmental Control Board settlements, Building Consulting, Violation Removal, Construction Management, Owner Compliance, Contracting, License Department of Building Expediters, designs, professionals for all your building solutions. Any problem you have with the building, you call Green Line Building Solutions at 718-871-0382. That's 718-871-0382, and they're located conveniently at 202 Foster Avenue.
Parking in the back.
We have Ezra Levy,
Yes, hi.
a criminal attorney for all your criminal needs. And Heshy has him on standby, 917-755-1187. You can reach Ezra Levy at 917-755-1187. Call him, text him in the middle of the night. Call him if you're arrested.
You see, I have
Don't
to.
call him just otherwise, just the middle of the night.
I have to hold. I am so just enough Heshy show that Sawyer now made me hold her cue cards for.
Actually, this cue card Heshy designed. So
I did design it. But what's your phone number, Ezra?
917-755-1187. You could also email me at EzraLevyLawFirm@gmail.com.
Can you spell that for us?
EzraLevyLawFirm@gmail.com.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I can spell my name.
Baruch's Barbershop, located at 108 Avenue I. You can reach Baruch's Barbershop at 718-758-5187. That's 718-758-5187. Or call, text, or WhatsApp Baruch personally to schedule your appointment at 347-845-9131. 347-845-9131. The official singing barber of Heshy Tischler. We should play a recording of him singing. What does he?
No.
What does he sing to you?
Oh gosh, just next.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling.
Attorney's Office of James Meadows, highly ranked traffic lawyer, former criminal lawyer, dedicated to all moving violations throughout New York State. James handles all points-related moving violations in New York City, Long Island, and upstate New York. Speeding, red lights, cell phone, stop sign, failure to yield, and improper turns are all traffic offenses that Heshy commits. That are all offenses with stiff penalties, including huge fines, points, increased insurance rates, suspension of your driver's license, and even being arrested. The law office of James Meadows is your best bet of beating your traffic ticket. You can reach James Meadows at 845-842-5387. I have 3 numbers. You can reach him on his cell, 917-856-1247. That's 917-856-1247. Or my favorite, 845-TICKETS. That's 845-TICKETS.
I have the. If you want, I had the number for James as well. And besides it's 718-845-TICKETS. I don't know what the translation number is. I lost it as well.
I'm seeing all these pictures of people going on vacation. I need a vacation.
But I want you to know.
I need a suntan.
But I want all of you to know that on Ocean Parkway and Church Avenue, some cop, for no reason at all, is standing over there.
He was picking on you?
He was not picking on me. By the way, there was a cop behind me, and I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. He puts on his red lights.
Brag about it, Heshy, on the ear.
Wait a minute. And then I was so scared.
What
I was
else were
getting
you
a
doing
ticket.
wrong, Heshy? What else?
He passes passes me and stops.
What did you have in your glove compartment?
He passes me. Okay, stop it.
What was under the seat? Tell us.
His lawyer's right there.
It's okay. Your lawyer's here. You could confess.
So no, that's exactly what we don't want.
He passes me and stops the car in front of me, and I quickly put on my seatbelt, and I hear him tell the guy, "I saw you without your seatbelt." Wow. But this guy on Church Avenue is telling everybody that you better go 25 miles an hour. He wore a 25 miles an hour mask. Let me explain to you something. You're on the Prospect Expressway. You're going 45 miles an hour on a highway. Then at the end, for 2 blocks, it quickly, a little sign says go 30, if you notice it. Then they're standing there with their guns. You know, the speed gun, the radar guns.
Oh, it's not a rate. It's for the speed. It's not to see if you're wearing a mask.
No, right. And then from there you go down to...
They don't have a gun for that.
And then you have about 15 feet to transfer from 30 to 15. Of course they're going to catch you there. It's a setup. And this cop gets on, be safe. If you drive too slow, 25 miles an hour on the Prospect, people beep you and they give you a ticket for driving too slow.
I asked somebody today... why they wear a mask in the car. We were having a discussion and they told me they need it for work and they go in and out and they're afraid they're going to forget. So they just leave it on. And I'm like, you're sitting in the car
by yourself.
And I'm looking at you and I'm thinking to myself, there goes another one.
I keep a spare.
Nobody's in the car with you.
A mask is so small, you keep it in your back pocket. So even if you forget it.
Put it on your chin even. Just put it on your... No, I'm just saying pull it down. You're driving.
Linda does that
where
in the
you're
car.
suffocating yourself.
Linda does that. She puts the mask on in the car because I smoke in the car.
Oh, that's
so
a
she
different
puts
story.
it down. No. So I scream at her.
I don't know how much it's going to keep out.
I know that. And then I scream at her, take off the mask as you smoke. I said, stop smoking. I hate. She looks so ugly in that mask. It's terrible. By the way, everybody, even though it was Linda's birthday only on Thursday, I took her out to a party. I posted a video. So everybody say happy birthday again to Linda.
Happy birthday, Linda.
Right. Okay, what's next?
120.
What's next on our list?
I'm making sure 120 because I want you to stick around for Heshy.
The show's almost over.
Keep him happy for 120 more years.
God, let's go suffering.
We have one more. Attorney's Office of Abraham Hochender for all your closing and contractual needs. Whether you're a buyer or seller, need help clearing up a title, buying or selling a home, whether commercial or residential, for the best legal assistance any present or future property owner can get. Call the law offices of Abraham Hochender today, 347-435-3402.
You forgot Traveler's Choice.
I did. That was what I was going to do next. I was saying I need a vacation to Florida. You just brushed it right off, like you always brush me off. Traveler's Choice. Joseph and Devorah Leifer, they will arrange all your local and international travel, your car rental, your hotel, your entire itinerary. You can reach Joseph and Devorah Leifer at Traveler's Choice at 212-868-8698. That's 212-868-8698. Traveler's Choice is your only choice for travel.
And don't forget, everybody, if you want to advertise on the Just Enough Heshy Show, JUSTENOUGH@gmail.com, or you could 718-288-7844, or you can text me on Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Just Enough Heshy. You can reach us on Facebook, TikTok, or just Heshy Tischler. Try to look me up. Anyways, you can do that. Also, to call into the show tonight, what's our phone number, Sawyer?
718-289-0070.
718-289-0070. Ezra, tell them the number.
718-289-0070.
I thought I'd get you off the hook.
I thought you got me also.
Anyways, we have a good show. We have Super Chats on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook Live. And again, afterwards, you can watch it again if you're really bored with yourself. And ask any questions that you want. Tonight, we were supposed to have a beautiful lady by the name of Benin Hamdan. She's 28 years old. I have her profile, guys, in your listing. She has a bachelor's degree and graduated St. John's University in 2020. She has a 2016 bachelor's and a graduate in 2020. She is just a wonderful, pretty, smart Muslim girl, but not really, because her father's Muslim and her mother's Christian, which is so cool. She tells me, listen, religion doesn't come into effect. She wants to go after Jerry Nadler. And I was listening to her ideas today when we spoke on the phone. Wonderful girl, 28 years old. I'm so proud of her. She's running as a Republican for Congress. Wow, I hope she wins that seat, but I know it's not possible. But maybe she does have a chance, and she's smart and young, and I'm behind her 100%, everybody. By the way, we're going to give some shout-outs to my favorite Sergeant Peter. And
Sergeant Peter, Mira Nava, Lila Tamar, my beautiful Shoshana, your friend Ellie,
That's right.
Dove and Shani Hiking. Who else?
And I want you to know, Mira Nava's birthday was like between me and Linda's. So I promised to buy her a blue elephant. She called me when they were on a trip. My son went on a cruise, so we didn't see her for the birthday. And she calls me on WhatsApp, says, Big H, don't forget my blue elephant. And my son says, I hope you're not lying to the kid. The truth of the matter is, I don't know where to buy a blue elephant.
You couldn't tell her gray. I could have told you a really cute elephant, really
Build-A-Bear.
soft. Dumbo from the
Build-A-Bear.
Disney store.
She wanted
Such
blue.
a cute, but she would love this
but
elephant.
Dumbo is blue.
No.
Yeah.
He's a
Gray.
gray. He's
No,
gray.
Dumbo is blue.
No, he's
You
gray
could,
with-
go ahead, convince and confuse
I'm
your
sure-
granddaughter
I'm sure if you
that
look at-
blue is
I'm
gray
sure
is
you could
blue.
Google blue.
You could get a
elephants.
blue elephant. You
That's
want me to
what
find you a
I
blue
wanted-
elephant
not
right now?
on
I'll
the
find
show.
you a blue
Look,
elephant.
She has to do in the show. Anyways, here is my joke and quote of the day, everybody, before we start the show. And here's my joke. When I see a lot of people, like this week, I saw a lot of people in the hospital having babies. And by the way, the hospitals are not overloaded with COVID. We're in single digits, even according to the government numbers. You know that, Ezra? Single digits.
There you go.
Of COVID. So even they can't lie anymore about it. So
Yes,
here's,
they can.
I know they can. I know they can. But I want you to know, when me and Linda, so I saw these people with babies, I was so happy. More babies are coming and they're taking care of it. So I reminded me of a story when me and Linda, my wife, started with our first child. We started to take Lamaze classes. You know what Lamaze classes are, Sawyer?
Yeah, for Heshy to learn how to breathe.
Anyways, so we were given an activity requiring us stupid husbands to wear a bag of sand. Did you ever hear that? I was not fat enough. They made me put a bag of sand on me to give us an idea what it feels like to be pregnant. So I stood up and
But you already have a bag of
Right.
sand.
I stood up and shrugged and said, this is not so bad. So the instructor...
Gave you 2 bags.
No, the instructor, Miss
You're having twins.
I remember her name specifically. Her name was Penny Helms. She drops a pen on the floor and asked me to pick it up. I said, you want me to pick up the pen?
Did your bag of sand burst?
I asked her, you want me to pick up the pen as if I were pregnant? That's what my wife would do, I said. She said, exactly. That's what your wife is going to do. So I turned to my wife, and to the delight of all their husbands, Linda, pick up the pen. Please show me how to do it while you're pregnant. I thought that was funny, I mean, why should I pick it up pregnant if she doesn't know how to do it? Whatever. Okay. Here's
We got you a blue elephant. There's a video, a movie, The Blue Elephant.
Yeah, I want that video too.
It's $3.99. You want to splurge?
No, but
on Amazon.
But I
it's called The Blue Elephant.
But I want
it's
to
a video.
I want to buy a big blue
It's a
elephant.
cartoon.
So I don't want to buy the show.
Yes. They have a big blue elephant. They have one for $15, and they have another one for $30. We'll hook you up.
Will hook me up.
Alrighty.
Okay. By the way, when I went to take
What do you need, Ezra?
$1 billion.
Not a pink elephant?
when
$1
I
billion.
when I went to take Linda out to dinner, so I had a place on Shore Road to pick up these beautiful long stem flowers, not the short ones they sell all over.
Oh, I
the
remember. That's a place that you got signatures.
Right.
I got signatures. You took me there.
So they had this big flower, and he told me, Heshy, come by, it's ready. As I'm getting there, I don't know, I got lost. And Linda says, what are you doing? I'm driving around. I says, we're going to be late for dinner. I said, no, I have to go somewhere. And anyways, we're driving all over. I couldn't get there, and I got lost, so I just got on the Bell Parkway and went.
Wait a second. I'm looking at your phone. You have something called Waze on it.
I know that. I wasn't
He uses Waze.
I do use Waze, but
I don't use Waze.
But to go to a couple of
I use
blocks
Google Maps.
in my
Waze is so
neighborhood,
much
I
better.
didn't think I needed to Waze.
I know.
So, anyways, halfway to the restaurant, Linda says, "Where are my flowers?" I said, "What flowers? Do you think that I'm going to buy you dinner and flowers? That's stupid." Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking at you.
You know how
That's
much money
stupid.
I spent on dinner? My son didn't stop eating.
Okay, you can afford it.
Yeah, I can afford it.
can afford it.
Anyways, here's my quote of the day. Are you ready? And this is about to all of you people. Here's midterm elections. You're all being threatened. You're all standing and shivering. You're scared of the police. You're scared of the inspectors. People are knocking on your doors and you're opening up. People are robbing you. Today I saw a video of 3 guys robbing a telephone store. You know those fake little telephones on the shelf?
Yeah.
They started kicking and breaking and right there in front of the lady. Nobody said anything and they broke it. Finally, they got the phones off the hook and they ran out. And the lady yelled at them as they were leaving. Those are just sample fake phones.
I don't think they're all sample fake phones.
They were. Well, that's what she said to them.
I don't think they
Well,
are.
that's what they got. Anyways, nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so we may fear less. You understand COVID. You understand what's going on. You understand how to take care of yourself. You don't have to fear it. You can conquer it. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Did you see that elderly woman that, I don't know if it was a Walmart or a pharmacy or something, and somebody was leaving with a full shopping cart with all kinds of items in their backpacks and other stuff, like literally loaded with stuff, and they weren't paying for it. They were just leaving. And this is what they're doing all across, I don't know, America, the United States. They're just like running out of stores, out of pharmacies, especially in New York.
They're doing those in Democrat-run cities with the Soros-funded DAs.
That's where you're not going to be prosecuted, and you you don't realize at the end of the day, people are saying, "Oh, the stores can afford." The stores are closing down. All the stores are going to close down, and
and that means people do not have jobs.
People don't have jobs. People are going out of business. Prices are being raised. There's gouging. It's just insane.
And people don't understand this government fund that they give you, or the stipend they give you, $300, $600, $1,000 family, $2,400. We're going to have to pay back, and if not us, the children. Where do you think this money comes from?
From your pocket, from your other pocket. You understand? The government is sticking. The government is sticking their hand in your pocket, and as they're taking out the money, a lot of it, they're giving you back. They're throwing you back $3 for thousands of dollars that they're taking away from you. You're getting nothing back from the government. The government is robbing you, and you're allowing them to.
We got the point, sir.
But I think what they're doing is they're just printing more money. It's not that they're taking.
You can't just print money.
Because that's how inflation works. Right. They're just printing more money, so everything's monopoly money.
I watched an interview.
That's right.
I remember I was in Bulgaria right after the fall of communism. There, about 2 or 3 years. Literally, the larger the denominations were, the larger the paper was, and you could buy anything.
It's very nice when gold goes up and everything goes up, but it's also very dangerous.
Correct.
But you have to understand that this great country under Trump, and I saw a Trump interview the other day on Newsmax, inflation was down, gas was down.
He was going to make it a great America. Right. So he wasn't given an opportunity, and he was knocked out. And we have a president who right now, not barely a year, and he's going to literally 3 more years. He's just going to finish us off.
Everything, the stock market,
everything is ruined and destroyed. Nothing is going to get better. It's going to get worse.
We have to raise interest rates now to cover for the inflation. When everybody could have got a cheap house or a cheap building, now they have to pay more money. I know people that didn't want to buy the houses. Usually it's the summer. People are running around trying to buy and put down deposits now because the prices have been raised by $200, $300, $400 a month in additional mortgage payments. And you're going to see that, Ezra. How much more I feel bad, but it's the truth only because of this stupidity. And people don't understand. $200, $300, $400 a month. Times that by 12 months is $3,000 a year. Times that by 30 years, and you're looking at right over there, $90,000, $100,000 more above already the double. Interest usually works that whatever mortgage you take out, you're paying double or triple by the time your loan ends. Right. So now you're adding on another 10 or 15%. It's just ridiculous. Ezra, you and I were talking before the show about the police officer being killed in New York City, and there was another one shot today. There was another
shot last night.
Yeah.
But my question to you is like this: you have the police running around doing dangerous stuff, and then you have the police arresting people for going in without vaccine cards, for not wearing a mask, for just stupid stuff like that, being called when inspectors are going into stores and fighting with people.
Not dealing with real crime.
So my problem is
harassing people, innocent people.
So the few police officers that are doing their job don't have the proper backup or protection, and that's why people are able to take advantage of the police. I saw a video this week, Sawyer, of about 40, 50 police officers getting on a train. Sawyer.
Yeah.
And these police officers, none of them were wearing a mask, and a lady was filming them, screaming, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask." Not only that, they laughed, they got on the train. Now, that's not fair.
I think they'll come back from Rivera's funeral.
Okay, again.
And I think also, look, we all agree that at least all of us in this room agree that the mask mandate is worthless. I think the police officers know that the mask mandate is worthless. There's a lot of mandates that are worthless. The rumor I heard from someone is that as much as Adams is keeping the mandates in place, they're not going to be enforced.
The problem is they might not be enforced, but you always have a cop or two that gives a ticket.
Right.
You know, I just had a guy right now. He was written up for 2 violations. And I'm going to tell you why. I promise you, he was written up because while he was doing his machine, you know, he was sanding the floors, the inspector saw that the electric cord was fried, a drop, you know, a little ripped, and he wasn't wearing a mask while doing it. Each fine was $3,900.
Mask?
For not wearing a mask. And then it gets better. Another guy...
$3,900. Where do they expect people... I'm arguing, no. Where do they expect people to get this kind of money? Even the tickets that they give out, the parking tickets are ridiculous.
He got 2 violations. One for not wearing the mask and one for the wire being fried. And then another guy, another contractor of mine, was doing some welding outside in the front, a little piece of scraping. Again, he was not wearing the mask. Again, he did not have to wear a mask doing welding. He had to wear eye goggles. This inspector had no right to do it. Again, gave him and now I spoke to the assistant director. His name is Assistant Director Chung. I said, what are you doing? He says, even if you're right about the electric cord, he says, I'm willing to make a deal with you. What deal? I want to go to court. He says, no, OSHA doesn't have a court. You have to write a notice of dispute. Once your dispute is done within 15 days, if not, you're in default. And if your notice is reviewed and we like it, we might give you a settlement. So they gave me a settlement of 25% discount. I said, I don't accept it. Right. We're not going to pay it. We'll come after you. I said, we're not going to come after you. We're going to counter sue. He calls me back today. He says, 50% off. I said, even if I agree to the 50% off deal, the first violation is illegal. I said, okay, you want to do the math, but you know, after a whole argument, he says, okay, I'll give you 50% of the second one. That was the whole thing. Fine. Yeah. And you know, and then I have another guy.
Using it as leverage.
Right. They go around to outlets and they put their little fake machines in there. They're not even tested. And they say it's not grounded. I said, how do you know when a machine? And they said, you have to open it up to check if it's grounded. Or maybe it's not attached. Maybe it broke. How does a worker know if it's grounded from 10 years ago? Again, they don't care. And these are disputes. You can't even fight the city because their laws are changing all the time. Right. But Heshy will continue fighting for you. I just want you to know also, and you know COVID is your story of fake COVID and all that. So, Sawyer, in 2015, there's a 153-page report between Moderna and the U.S. government. Are you listening? That's before Trump.
Okay.
And this was before, and on this agreement was the new coronavirus and the NIH. They were collaborating with a Dr. Barack with a material transfer agreement for the coronavirus. How did they know about corona in 2015?
Well, there's different.
It was premeditated. The whole thing.
No.
What do you mean no?
No, corona. This corona that we have is COVID-19. There are different coronaviruses. Not everyone's COVID-19.
So we were working on this vaccine already 4 years ago.
No, there's always been. Right. Every year there's another coronavirus.
So if we never had a problem till now, what was the rush right now? There was no overloading of patients.
There's no overload. I agree with you. The whole thing's a sham.
This was a man-made created virus.
Most likely.
This was funded. Let me finish the sentence.
We let you finish so much.
Okay.
YouTube may take us down for saying that.
This was funded by Fauci.
Okay. Whatever.
He was sending.
You can't say that. You have no evidence.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Show me evidence.
The lab where the virus came out of was getting funding.
Where do you have
what
this evidence?
What are you talking about?
Show me the
CDC.
checks.
Who's the head of it?
Okay. Again, you talk, but you have no evidence. Now I can say whatever I want about Carmen Yeager.
There you go.
Okay. Is Carmen from the Wuhan lab?
Okay, let's continue.
You're not talking about it. We're talking about the Wuhan lab.
I believe Carmen is one big virus.
You believe a lot of people are viruses, okay?
You know what she was telling me in the car? She says that after somebody leaves me and I talk nice to them, they walk out, I talk bad behind their backs.
Not the exact word I used, but okay.
Have I ever talked bad behind Ezra's back?
Everybody's back.
You lie.
About my?
I don't lie.
You ever heard me talk bad about Ezra?
I speak the truth.
You never tell the truth.
All the time.
You're a woman. No woman tells the truth.
That's true.
I'm a woman.
He got you there. I got you. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue. All rents have been canceled again for another year in California. New York just allowing us to file the 90-day notices. But again, they might add the moratorium of evictions and collecting rents, which is only voluntary, which thank God most of my people do, is going to be extended another year.
But they're not. The moratorium doesn't cover for the taxes. You understand? So the property owners are going to lose their properties, go into bankruptcy.
Right. And Carmen Yeager allowed us
take out the loans and
Carmen Yeager, and this is a fact, 18% increase in our taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Oh, I know.
That's not normal.
Again.
That's abnormal.
Again.
How do you raise something and block
Ezra,
out for the people? They're making it for people
Ezra,
to
and
become
this is for you,
impoverished.
Ezra.
They really are. They want to destroy what's left of this
So I
country.
They want
want you to-
anyone who has anyone who could survive in New York to leave New York.
But
That's
you're
exactly
making a mistake. See, you
They
guys
want
don't-
us to leave the city.
You guys know. See, you have the whole Corona superstition and the conspiracy wrong. You see, you guys, listeners, and all of you people really don't understand the game. You and I are regular people. We're workers. We supply work. We get paid, and we make and we cover our bills. Some of us are more successful, and we're able to do better, buy a home, put our kids in better schools. But we're not billionaires. The billionaires know that if we become very successful, we'll stop working. They won't have the services provided for them. So for them, they need to suck in more money and more money to have us little people to continue to service them. Every time,
It sounds like a Marxist theory.
it is, because you can see it, because during the Trump administration, a lot of people were becoming millionaires. A lot of people were becoming successful and buying buildings and paying off their mortgages and homes.
Because there wasn't the 18% tax. Because we had affordable gasoline.
But also, right. Also, we showed that the energy. We didn't allow foreign countries to take advantage of us in NATO and other stuff.
Right.
And what happened? This thing happened to hold us back, lock us up. Now people were standing. I mean, do you believe it? In America, people were standing in line to collect food from soup kitchens. Not the poor people. You're talking regular families coming to pick up boxes of food.
I remember those ones.
We were doing 140 boxes every weekend. We were then doing the Corona, the height, 300, 400 boxes. Thousands were given away because people, the government was making money. To them, it makes no difference who has the money. But as long as you keep the little people, the subjects, in their place to continue to serve you, that's the problem. Now, Ezra, that you're a new homeowner, I just want you to know, I'm going to tell you a story, and it's a story I heard from a rabbi. There was a guy, an old 91-year-old man in Dublin, Ohio, and he called the president of a chemical bank, a nice man, a Jewish man, and he says to him, "You're a bad man." He says, "Why? What's wrong?" He says, "I have a house. I bought it 40 years ago with my wife. My wife just passed away. I never missed a mortgage payment ever. Never. When my wife died, I was a little disoriented. So for 7 months, I didn't pay a mortgage." That's what he says to the president of the bank or whatever it is. The guy says to him, "I got you. So what's wrong?" He says, "I got a letter in the mail that I'm 7 months behind and I have to pay the bill right away." So I took out my checkbook. I wrote a check for the 7 months. I mailed it in. I got a reply letter saying, "We are still foreclosing on your house, not only due to the late payments and the interest, you have to pay that up." The man says, "This is what you do to a 91-year-old man. My wife died. I don't have children. How do you people do this? I mean, how do you have the nerve of a good person messing up?" And I explained it to you in a letter. "We don't care." And that's what happened. So he tells this old man, he says, "Listen, relax. Let me take a look at it. Let me find out about it." Very nice man. Goes down to the foreclosure unit from his fancy office upstairs, and he goes over to the lady to bring up this man's name and house. The lady looks, says, "Yeah, the house is in foreclosure." He says, "But why is it foreclosure?" He was late, and there's interest on his mortgage with the balance. So the president of the bank asks this lady, "How much does this man owe after all these years?" She says, "He has a balance of $5,700 with interest and final payments." He says, "Really?" He says, "Can you just wipe it out?" She says, "I can't, because we've already sold the note to a servicer. There's nothing I could do about it." So the president of the bank, this is a true story, takes out his checkbook, writes a check for $5,700 to the servicer, and tells the lady, "You tell them that I want this note back if they ever want to deal with us again." And then he sends the note, and he says, "You call me when it's done." He then writes a letter to this man. He says, "You have no mortgage, no more balance, it's all paid off, and your 7 months of late payment, here is returning back your check, all gone, we're not taking the money from you." So this is a man.
1 in a million.
So now.
1 in a million.
He forgets about the story. Now this is the best part of my story. A year later, he gets a call from a lawyer. And the lawyer says, he asked for the president. He says, I want you to know I'm a lawyer and a state lawyer, and I want to ask you if you know this particular man. He says, I don't remember. I have so many names I deal with all the time. And he says, I want to remind you, it's an old man from Dublin, Ohio, 91 years old. And you brought him. He says, yes. What happened? How is he doing? He said, he just passed away 2 days ago.
Left him the house.
And I want you to know, he about a couple of weeks ago, he told me to change his will and to leave you the house.
Wow.
So the guy says to him, what do you want me to do with it? He asks, how much is the house worth? He says, $850,000. So this nice president of the bank says, what is your client, if you know him, what is your client always donate? What charities? He says he loved to donate to different schools and charities in Israel. And he was a Jewish guy. So he tells the lawyer, he says, I want you to sell the house. Let's take the money and we're going to distribute it to different charities. And he gives them a name of 10 different schools and charities that were going to get this money. And wow, they were very surprised, Musabali, when they got these checks. The lawyer says to him, I want you to know something, Mr. President. I am a Christian man. I'm faithful Christian that have served and have been very religious. I always thought the Jews were bad people. He says the Jews, during the whole history of the Bible, they sinned, idols, they did bad things throughout time, and they got punished for it. And we were taught that the Jewish people were not good. He says, what I saw today, I now know why God made the Jewish people the chosen people. You see how easy it is to turn somebody's mind around. Just do something good. It doesn't have to be a lot. It wasn't a big amount of money. And he just made the guy comfortable. And look what happened. He was able to do not only good.
He had a heart.
He had a heart, but not only a heart. He understood when somebody was wrong, because normally procedure when you deal with a bank, sorry, too bad, jump in the lake. And there's a lot of people who do foreclosures today, and I'm involved with them, and I try not to deal with them because they're trying to hurt somebody, and you won't give somebody a second chance like the government. When you can't pay rent, you can't pay your mortgage.
We live in a cookie cutter world, and everybody's in a cookie cutter, and the government doesn't look at you or listen to you. Stand on the line. People are mean. People are malicious. They really are working for the government, and
Call into the show 718-289-0070. Any questions on your super chat, Max, or no?
We need to live in a kinder world.
We do.
We really do, and everybody could pitch in, and everybody.
I'm not asking you everybody to give away charity or your money, but kindness, a little goodness, help the poorer person with a little bit. You'll see, you ease somebody's pain, God will reward you. Yes, there is a God, no matter which way you want to talk. I heard recently that ivermectin is no more. You can't buy it anymore in the drugstores. Nobody will prescribe it or give it to you. But they will give you remdesivir.
We got a caller, and we also have a question.
Go ahead.
They want to talk about the Torah Values Caucus in Congress. Somebody wants to know, what's it all about?
I don't know what it's
And
about.
we have regards from Cleveland, from Yuri Silver.
Oh, I love Yuri. He's sending us.
I'm not sure.
I just want to tell you before you pick up the caller that remdesivir, which destroys your body and kidneys, that's what they give you to get better with COVID. But the ivermectin they don't give it to you, which really actually heals people right away. And do you want to know why ivermectin is not foundable? Because ivermectin cures cancer. That's what I was told with research.
I don't know. Okay.
That's what I was told. I was told that, and you know what? How come you can't find ivermectin? You have the virus created, the vaccine created.
Because they don't want. Because there's no money involved in it.
I got you. See, that's the problem. That's it.
There's no money, and there's also this is just government control of you.
Now, I argued with Sawyer about she blocking my freedom of speech to say whatever I want, and it's wrong. By the way, I want to tell you.
You need to be blocked sometimes, Heshy. I'm sorry.
Sawyer, I want to read you. Can I read you a little?
You have no filter. It's a little scary.
Sawyer, can I read you 31 words that will change your mind?
About you and you needing a filter?
No, about all of us. 31 words. Are you ready? Are you ready for the 31 words?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Here you go, baby. It's called the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Of
which
the United
means,
States?
No, don't skip. I'm going to translate it for you.
Oh, you're going to?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag, which means I pledge my honor, my truth, my soul, my body to this great country, this flag that represents this great country. So I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. That means we're all different people and we're all different states and all different cultures, which are now united into one. United States of America, to which it stands.
And to the republic.
To the republic. I'm sorry. See how I missed one of the
One nation under God, for which it stands. One nation under God.
Under God.
Yeah.
Under God, which means God watches us. God made this great country. Under God.
With liberty and justice.
Oh,
indivisible.
Indivisible.
Which
With
means-
liberty.
Oh gosh,
Which
What's
is
so divisive these days?
It's indivisible, which means it's not possible to divide us. We will stand together. Okay?
With liberty and justice for
With liberty, that means my liberty, and justice for all men. That means it doesn't make a difference if you're black or white or Asian or blue.
or female, or identify as a
I have a
refrigerator.
question for you, Heshy.
I think female is an issue.
Heshy.
No, God forbid.
Why were the words under God? Because those were not part of that's actually not part of the
Right, I heard
original
that.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
Under God was instituted in 1954 under President Eisenhower. It was basically there was a counterculture going around already after World War II, and he realized it. So the words under God were put back into it, and that's always been the reason now. That's the fight people are having against saying the Pledge of Allegiance in schools, because it's saying that's against inculcating
But it's
people
not
religion.
saying which God. It's saying God, which means all
so under the
gods.
First Amendment, there's something called the Establishment Clause, and there's a Freedom Clause. You're free to practice whatever religion you want, but the Establishment Clause prohibits government from even promoting the idea of religion.
Wow.
And that's real. That's why anytime
A school is not a government. A school is funded by the government.
That's the same thing, and that's why anytime a yeshiva or Catholic school or a Muslim school gets any government funding, there's always a lawsuit.
Anyways, can we get on to Whoopi Goldberg? Do you know who Whoopi Goldberg is?
Unfortunately.
I sure do.
Unfortunately.
You know, I want to tell you something. All those women on The View are really despicable.
Yeah, it's just I'm so happy she's gone for 2 weeks. There's a reason
This
I
is
don't
not her first time.
There's a reason I don't watch television, and I don't know who would watch something like The View, but
These liberal whack jobs.
I used to like The View when it first came out.
That's because Barbara Walters was on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also there was the girl who won Survivor, and came in second. She just retired or left the show. A blonde girl. She was great. She used to argue with Whoopi and all of the other ones.
Why do you think she?
That's
Why
John
do you,
McCain's daughter, wasn't it?
Who?
No. They had her. They had her leave.
Yeah, John McCain's daughter was fired or pushed out.
Anybody that has, by the way, they had one day where they had a show, and they came up with this baloney that one of them tested positive because they didn't want them there because they weren't so liberal and so woke. So they pushed them out that day for somebody that was coming in that they didn't want them to be there because they might, actually have
Whoopi
a really
Goldberg-
their own view.
But what's her crime? She says the Nazis.
Something about the Nazis.
She
made
The
comparisons.
Nazis were not racist.
Yeah, she said she's basically Whoopi Goldberg is buying this woke garbage that the world is always black and white, literally black versus white. So when there's two white races or two light skinned races that are having a fight with each other, as far as she's concerned, it's not racism. So when the Nazis decided that they want an Aryan race and the hell with the Slavs and even worse for our own people, that wasn't racist. It was a genocide. It wasn't nice, but it wasn't racist.
But the Nazis didn't like the black people either.
Anytime you discriminate,
the Nazis didn't kill black people because they weren't there.
Anytime you discriminate, discriminate means you're looking at something and you're using some sort of critique. You're white, and because you're white, you're not going to get it because we need to even the platform. No, hold on. There's a new racism. There's a new racism in town. Heshy, if you're going to apply to certain colleges, for years it's been going on. We gotta fill a certain quota of blacks or Latinos or whatever it is that we gotta fill out. And I understand, but it really needs to be. It needs to be from now on. It needs to be always. It's not about we want to even up the scales. Why should I be penalized? Why should somebody else be penalized?
Listen to me.
We need to even out the scales, and you get the job based on your qualifications, based on your abilities, not based on your gender, and not based on your color.
Wow, you go into these long rants that nobody understands, and nobody.
I know you can't handle length.
So let's Soya's mentioning affirmative action.
Yeah.
I mean, in the sports world today, there's a football coach, Brian Flores, who came out.
A black guy.
He's a black guy who actually did a decent job in Miami for 3 years.
Yeah.
And he lost his job, and now football has a very strange. The NFL has a very strange rule. in order to hire a coach or a GM, you have to actually interview enough African Americans first from the out who are not part of your organization before you can make a decision. It's called the Rooney Rule after one of the owners. I think it was either in Pittsburgh or something, or Cleveland. So long story short, we all know that, and I know who I want to hire, but I have to click off a couple of boxes and say other people are getting interviewed. So that Brian Flores comes in, and he was interviewed for the New York Giants job, but they just hired a GM from Buffalo who wanted somebody he'd worked with before. So it was very clear who was going to get the job, but now he's suing the Giants. Apparently, 3 years ago, when he was applying for his last job, he was interviewed by, I think, the Denver Broncos, and a couple guys came in drunk. He didn't like that either. So, I mean, it's the problem when you have quotas, when you have preferences, is it doesn't work for anyone. It doesn't work for the ones who are supposed to get who you're trying to help.
He may or may not win his lawsuit depending on which whack job judge he has.
One thing that's definitely not going to happen is he's not going to get another job in the NFL.
Right.
Nobody wants to hire somebody that's suing somebody else.
I want to clear something up with you. In the 1936 Olympics, you had Jesse Owens running with some another gentleman there, and I want you to know they were black, and the Germans did not want them to participate. When they were forced to participate, they made them suffer, and they actually tried to get them out of even a couple of races. Again, Jesse Owens proved them that he was better with all the hardships, with all the things he did. So don't get me wrong, it wasn't just after the white people, they were also after the black people.
No, that's fine, but the thing is, I agree with you. The Nazis were looking for the master race, which could be Aryans, but they did not go around exterminating black people because there were no black people for them to.
The leaders that wanted the Aryan nation.
We're not Aryans.
If you look at them,
none of them were Aryans.
They were what you would call a half breed.
I know, but
again, they were not. We like us. We always want our children to be better, so they were looking to build a nation.
Don't do apples and oranges, please. Not even apples and oranges.
No, but the thing is,
potatoes and trucks. Completely different animals.
The good thing is, Whoopi Goldberg was actually suspended for 2 weeks. My question is, let's change this around. If somebody went around and says, slavery in America had nothing to do with racism. It was just it was just good economics, right? It was free labor for the southern plantation owner. If a white person said that on national television, what do you think would happen?
Right, we'd get big trouble.
No big trouble. The guy would be fired, and that's it. And you'll never hear from him again. Whoopi Goldberg got 2 weeks suspension, and she's complaining. She's threatening not to come back. So I'm not for the cancel culture, but I'd like just, everybody wants equality. Let's have one rule for everyone.
I'm going to talk about cancel culture, but I want you to know that this guy, Aaron Mustafsky, he ran in on January 6th with,
that's just poor parenting skills. He's a grown up, he's an adult. But there was poor parenting skills over there.
So I want to show you. They all said it was terrorism, mutiny, not mutiny, whatever they were against, whatever it was.
Insurrection.
Insurrection. Here's what he pleaded to. He pleaded to civil disorder and might get 12 to 18 months. Can you explain to me what civil disorder is?
Okay. Well, there's something in almost every state, and probably the federal government has something called, disorderly conduct or something like that.
Right.
Or, and basically disorderly conduct could be anything from spitting on the sidewalk to causing a traffic jam to doing anything. And it's usually used, it could be it's charged many times, it's usually used as a plea bargaining scale. So, if somebody's charged with, say, an assault or a menacing or, just in New York, for example, and you want to work out a plea, you don't want to give the guy an ACD, you want, you want something.
But this is crazy.
So give it disorderly conduct.
You said he attacked the Capitol. People were scared for their lives, so they were like almost murders. They put them in federal lockups without letting them out. Now you're willing to make a deal for civil disorder? Make up your mind. Is it insurrection or is it not?
First of all, not a single person who was arrested has been charged with insurrection. Not a single person who was arrested.
So how come they're not letting them out?
That's the question. This is look.
So that's what I'm saying. If they're able to do
the Department of Justice under Joe Biden has done everything but justice.
Yeah, and it's just not fair what they're doing. And here's the thing, when they do these crazy things, that's why I want to show you, when they give us these mandates on COVID, like, look at our governor, the new unelected stupid governor. She doesn't hang out in Buffalo. She doesn't hang out in other cities or towns. She's always bothering us in New York City. Get the H out of New York City. What do you want from us, Governor? If you have a problem with your husband, just leave him, but don't be hanging out here because you're coming to us.
That's very simple. If she doesn't, the only chance that she has of getting reelected is winning New York City.
But again, she has an entire state. You have cities in an entire state.
You have enough people now in downstate areas who are sick of what's going on that they may actually vote for a Republican.
Yeah.
So she has to focus
when
all her energy.
When is the gubernatorial election coming up?
November.
November. So the election.
And people are sitting over there. Nobody's going to come out to vote. So people need to come out and vote.
Right. So the election, the signatures again are in March, but the governor signed the line, but they could change it. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not running for anything serious, but I am going to put my name on the ballot for district leader. So if you even, I'm testing the waters for the real council election next year in 2020.
When are you going to run as a Republican?
I'm thinking of switching parties.
Would you please?
But the problem is only 20% of our district is Republican.
Yeah, but you know what? The more than 20% vote goes to Republicans.
Okay. Well,
that's what I'm trying to say. Just every I hate to say this. I mean, every Jew has been brainwashed. They have to be a registered Democrat. I was brainwashed also when I registered to vote.
I grew up Republican.
I grew up a registered Democrat and vote whoever you wanted. When Cuomo became governor, I became a Republican.
Oh yeah, you want to hear
this? After voting Republican.
Your mayor, Eric Adams.
My mayor. Yeah. He's my mayor.
He's the Joe Biden.
President is not my president. I don't know why this mayor is my mayor.
He doesn't take my calls anymore, by the way.
Doesn't take your calls?
Okay, it used to be that way. But I just want you to know.
He changed his number.
Right, he changed his number, but it goes right to voicemail. But Joe Biden, I mean, forget that he's buddies with Joe Biden. He had dinner with
Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo 2 days before he met to get information. I understand this is
he's a politician,
but that's not fair.
What does a politician mean?
You tell us that Cuomo is a pig, that Cuomo should resign.
He never called Cuomo a pig.
He did. He told him that he have to resign. We didn't call him a pig.
Who cares what he is? He's many things, Cuomo.
He told Cuomo to resign.
Thank God he's gone.
Look, let's
he
think
told
about
Cuomo
Eric
to resign because he did bad things.
No. Eric Adams only cares about Eric Adams. That's one thing about it.
He did whatever he needed to do to get into office.
Why would you have a not guilty? 1 minute. Why would you have a not guilty man resign?
Because it wasn't good for Eric Adams.
Right.
Because it wasn't good for Eric Adams.
And then you go have dinner with him.
That's fine.
What do you think about midterm elections? Are the Republicans going to take over?
It matters.
It does.
They said the Republicans should have no problem taking over.
Both houses.
Both houses. Both. They should have zero problem taking over. However, we're coming off of a census, so the Democrat-controlled states are gerrymandering their seats, and because of that, the seats that swung Republican last time around from Democrat to Republican are in jeopardy, or some very heavy Republican seats are being cut up, where you have now a significant Democrat population in the electorate.
Was there a promised guest for tonight?
Yeah,
yes.
She didn't come in.
Who was the promised?
Her name was Bedine Hamdan, a 28-year-old young lady running for Jerry Nadler's seat. She called me about 2 hours before the show started.
Somebody just asked, when is your guest?
Right.
Are they coming on soon?
Her grandmother got sick, and she had to cancel out the last minute. We're going to reschedule with him. I really want, because you should have heard her idea. She was a wonderful, smart, intelligent. Parents are immigrants from Lebanon, building themselves up in this great country, raising a beautiful daughter like this who graduated college.
We have time for calls?
We have time for calls.
Okay, if anybody wants to call in, 718-289-0070. We have a few minutes left if you would like to call in and ask a question.
So this is what's going on right now. Is in New York, we're talking about gerrymandering, right? Which is the process every 10 years, new districts. So it's redistricting. In New York, there's supposed to be a nonpartisan commission. That's what we voted for twice on referendums. But in Albany, they don't care about the people's vote. So now 2 seats are very much now in play because of all this gerrymandering. Is the one is I think Maliotakis, which is part of South Brooklyn and Staten Island. They want to now include parts of Park Slope and in some other areas, which puts into play that the Max Rose is running in.
Yeah.
Max Rose already announced, and I heard a rumor this morning that our former mayor, Bill de Blasio,
I like that.
Is thinking of running against Max Rose for the Democratic
This
seat
guy
to run
is
against
stupid.
Malliotakis.
He's running for president. He's running for Congress. He's running for whatever.
Hello, you're on the air with Heshy, Ezra, and Soya.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Who do we have?
I'm doing good. I want to know, when am I going to vote next for Heshy Tischler to be mayor? I've been waiting too long. I want it to happen already.
Well, I'm going to be running.
2025.
No.
2025.
I'm running now. I'm running now for city council. I'm announcing I'm going to run against Carmen Yeager. The signatures are for next March. That means 2023. We're going to be taking signatures, and the election will be in November 2023. I'm going to be running head on. I'm considering running Republican just so I should.
Because you're doing everything the mayors and governors do already. How do you get in this position?
I know what.
Doing it already for so long.
I've always done it, and you know what? It's not that. The point is, I'm disappointed that they're not doing it when they can make our lives better and easier, and help us make crime less, help us with our taxes and reform and getting our services. You know, I have to call the sanitation and tell them what streets to go shovel during the snowstorm. It wasn't a bad snowstorm, but it was bad enough that a lot of streets weren't shoveled or shoveled late, and I had to make some phone calls.
Just show videos of them doing it, but they're not actually really doing it.
They didn't even show. Carmen didn't even show anything. He was hiding in his basement or whatever, like Biden, and did nothing.
They're like hustle yasso.
All I know is I'm disappointed with him, and I'm going to get him this time, and I'm going to put myself on the ballot, be ready for district leader this time, just to get rid of another little pisher by the name of David Schwartz, who just takes money, sucks us dry.
Heshy.
It's a fact.
Thank you, Heshy, and regards from your nephew, Moishi Tischler.
Oh, I love Moshe. He's wonderful. He drove with me. He drove me to Washington and back. He drove you too. He drove me and you too. So he's a good boy.
The best.
He's the best. Everybody, he's looking for a wife, and I love him.
The second seat that's also in play right now is Lee Zeldin's seat in.
Lee Zeldin, who's running for governor, right?
Lee Zeldin is right now. He's the lead. I think he's the odds-on candidate.
I don't know. I think Andrew Giuliani is.
And Rob Astorino. All three of them have a great chance.
And is there Gibbons or something?
Derek Gibson,
Derek
wonderful.
Gibson.
He was on our show. All the Republicans in this election
are solid.
Not solid, just super, and they're better than Hochul. But I don't know. I mean,
but the thing is, Lee Zeldin's seat's funny the way they redistrict.
I don't know Lee Zeldin personally.
I
think Andrew Giuliani is a real mensch. Okay. I like him.
They're all mentions. All three of them.
All of them are gentlemen, good, clean histories.
Lee Zeldin's a veteran. He's been in Congress. He's a vocal supporter. He was a vocal supporter of Trump. He came out. He was one of the bigger voices during the impeachment proceedings. But the funny thing is, with his seat, he's in Long Island. They are now gerrymandering his seat to Long Island. Now connects all the way to the Bronx. So they're putting Bronx and Long Island together. It's like putting oil and water together and thinking that you have a very representative sample. So they're taking seats that are slightly Republican, which have been held either. Zeldin's been there for, I think that's his third or fourth run in term. Malliotakis is first, and they're trying to flip these seats.
I know,
and that's what's going. That's the only thing that can stop.
We're coming to the end of the show, and I want to tell you something that me and Ezra spoke about before the show. There's a guy by the name of Rand Paul who's intelligent. You told me he was a doctor as well.
He's a doctor. He's an eye surgeon. He's probably the smartest man in the Senate. He says person in the Senate.
Okay, the COVID edicts that made no scientific sense deserve a massive boycott. And listen what he writes. Wednesday, that was today, a new study from Johns Hopkins University concluded that the COVID lockdowns did more harm than good because they failed to reduce the mortality and were devastating to the economy. I mean, this is a senator and Johns Hopkins University. Why aren't they listening?
Well, they are listening because as I saw something today about 40 or 50 Republican lawmakers in Washington. So it's senators, including Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and others, as well as congressmen led by Chip Roy of Texas.
Masks. No, they're still wearing masks in the House.
What they are doing right now is they are threatening and saying, we're not going to be voting on any more legislation until we get rid of these mandates. So they say, you know, you want to keep the government open. You need us to approve. You need expenditures. We have to deal with this.
Do they need to? Because the
government's there's always the way our government's funded is basically they have never passed a final budget. So if they always extend the deadline, it takes as long as they can't get a majority to agree to that.
Yeah, but the
government
Democrats
shuts
have a
down.
majority.
The government, well, right now it's 50-50. And
Senate.
50-50 Senate. And if you get one Democrat like a Joe Manchin, who's, you know, or Christensen, who are open to being spoken to on your side, but really you need the Republicans first of all.
Before we end the show, we have one more minute. I want to tell you something very interesting. Your guy, George Bush, okay? First of all, my brother had Operation Getsy. I wish you the best of health.
Best of health.
But I want you to know that George W. Bush, he funded the campaign to impeach Trump. I mean, what's wrong with this guy? President to president? What's your problem, George Bush?
Listen, he became very rich off of
no,
oil
Bush was always rich.
from other countries.
No, but it's always been rich.
Excuse me.
This is personal.
Everything was personal. His pocketbook was personal.
Donald
All
Trump.
these presidents becoming really rich.
I know, but Bushes were always rich.
We got you.
Bushes were rich.
Let him finish.
The Bushes were rich before they got to. Before they became,
but they became filthy rich.
They're all filthy. But the
Bush
thing
was always rich.
Bush was always rich. He was an old man.
Clinton, they walked out
Okay,
with
you comparing up. You said we're speaking about Bush.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Bushes hate Trump. We know that already.
Which doesn't make sense.
No, it does make a lot of sense. Trump went out there and he criticized George Bush. He said, if you know, America wouldn't have been attacked if any other Republican was there. Bush was weak. He attacked Jeb Bush.
We had the Gulf War. We had a lot of things with Bush.
I agree with you, but that didn't stop. That didn't stop Trump opening his mouth.
I can't hear you anyways. You're not talking into the mic.
Trump.
Okay.
Okay, the Nobel Peace Prize. He was the first one ever in history to make
the show is over, Sawyer. Thank goodness, Sawyer.
Sawyer,
good night, everybody.
Good night.
We're stopping to hear Sawyer rant on. Listen to the music. We want you. Come on back next Wednesday, and we'll have another guest. Maybe we'll show up, maybe not. Thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for coming.